have on the phone a gentleman by the name of Mark Stoner that wrote a book called Blue Collar Gold. Before I introduce him, I want to read to you the thing that inspired me to pick up the phone and call him. And here's what he put in his book. Most Americans don't realize the potential gold mine in blue-collar businesses. By blue-collar business, I mean a business providing a specialized service requiring a trained employee and manual labor. And in my case, it is a chimney sweeping business. Mark, thank you so much for being on the show, buddy. I just absolutely enjoyed every page of your book, and it brought back so many memories of when I was starting my business, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me, and I'm glad you enjoyed the book. Thank you for that.
What television show was it that I saw you on? I don't know. I just remember you were on the air, and that's why I ordered your book.
It was on CNBC. It's a TV show called Blue Collar Millionaires, and they highlight people who've become successful doing blue collar or labor work that you would probably not think somebody could be successful at. So they contacted me actually a couple of years ago, and through many different reiterations and producers, the show finally came to air, and it's been on a couple of times on CNBC. So I'm glad you caught the episode.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the inspiration to write the book, because, most of us business people, we don't write books. We're too busy working. So talk to me about that.
Well, so one of the things, I wrote a book because I was starting to do some professional speaking, and there's a saying that you should probably write a book if you are going to, be, doing keynotes and things. So I decided to write it more as a task, but once I started writing it, I realized that there was some good information that other business owners could really benefit from my struggles and the things that I kind of went through, because I'm also a consultant for a lot of small blue-collar businesses, and we all have almost the same problems. So I figured if I could write that in a book and people could read it to know almost like a pathway to success, that people could benefit from that. And it's really been neat, that the response that has come from, we've probably sold 5,000 or 6,000 copies so far, and I was told it'd be lucky to sell 100. So
Right.
anything over 100, I feel good about. So
well,
that's kind of inspiration.
Mark, I tell you, I wrote a book, and I think I've given out about
You
about
wrote a book?
100 copies.
What was the name of that?
So
Well, that's what I thought I was going to be doing too, just making it like a business card. So
Right.
luckily we have sold some, so it's been good.
And Mark, this is Hillary. I'll tell you what, you're probably going to sell a whole bunch more after you've been on the show with Joe, because he really knows how to do the promotions just so well. And he turned me on to your book, and I'll tell you, it was like preaching to the choir. I cannot agree with you more. And I was just so impressed with what you had to say, and it's so true. I mean, I've lived abroad several different times in my life, and one of the things that you talk about is how really there's a potential gold mine in the blue collar business, and how it's celebrated. It needs to be celebrated, actually. And over there, overseas, it is celebrated. They really promote crafts and trades and things of that nature. Whereas here, I think it used to be that way. And as
Right.
Joe and I were talking, and Joe, I'll let you finish this up. But yeah, I mean, this is the way the trend is moving back towards that. And so I really appreciated your book. And one of the things that you said was like there was 3 million blue collar and skilled labor jobs that went unfulfilled in America, and that just that is a definitely sad shame.
Let me ask you this, Mark. I believe, and I kind of want to get your take on this, that what you wrote about in this book is something that used to happen years ago. Somewhere we lost it, and now I think we're going to finally realize this is going to be the future for us small business people moving forward, because it's not something that can be outsourced. Would you kind of agree with that? Is that your take on this?
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Mark, on this show, we say exactly.
Mark, you better watch out. You need a bell.
What is the problem, Mark, that you find that all of the small businesses have in common?
Right now, one of them, we've told our kids, go to school, get a degree, and get college educated, so you don't have to do that type of work. So you don't have to do blue collar work. Basically we've put it as a consolation prize. If you have to do blue collar work, things didn't work out for you. You didn't get the degree, and now you have to do it. And I think that's the wrong message.
I
agree.
agree.
Parents
Yes.
need to stop telling their kids that there's something wrong with that. One time, one of my technicians was in a home fixing a fireplace, and the father brought his son in to look at my technician fixing a fireplace. He said, "You see this guy doing this? If you don't go to school and get a degree, you're going to have to do this kind of work." I mean, he said right in my technician. And my technician said, "Well, thank you, sir, but I do have a college degree, and I did try to do this work." So
Wow.
the messaging needs to change. And the messaging that there's one way to happiness, which is go to school, get a degree, then you can be happy, is completely wrong. We've been saying it for several generations, and my main message is there's a gold mine in this because we've been saying this so long. So many people don't want to do it, and now the trades are needed so desperately.
Mark, let me tell you this. You and I don't know each other. I sell small businesses for a living, so I see this often. And by the way, before this is over, I'm going to make sure everybody wants to, if they want to be in the chimney business, to contact you. So remind me to do that, buddy. I know why we're doing all this, right? So remind me to do that. But what I find just intriguing about this concept is, I can remember years ago when I just started opening up my first restaurant, my girlfriend's mother, who was quite wealthy, looked at me and said, "Is this what you're going to do for the rest of your life?" And to this day, it was the sort of motivation that kept me moving forward. I've got two brothers with master's degree. I got a sister with a master's degree, all of them very highly educated, and every one of them will be the first ones to tell you, while they were learning how to make money, I was out actually making money.
Right. Amen. Absolutely.
And we joke about that all the time, and it really is so true that the point that I'm making here is I find that professionals, and I do mean doctors, attorneys, you name it, accountants, all these professionals go to many years of school. When they get up in the morning, Mark, they have to make a living. They have to do something. And people like you and I who actually own the business, we find ourselves having a lot more free time than they do. And so I really think there's been a bill of goods to this.
I do too. If Mark, if I could just really tag on to what you said, I do believe that there's a systemic problem as well, because it's a way to. I love your book because it's a way to create the awareness and maybe hopefully break the cycle, because as Joe mentioned, that outsourcing and things of that nature. It's not like you can go ahead and dial 1-800 and say, "Oh, excuse me, let me get you on the line with someone in China real fast, and we'll teach you how to fix your plumbing."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just not going to happen, and there is such a misnomer, a true misnomer, and it just really, it chaps me, and I hate to use that word, but it's really true. It just chaps me, and I get really passionate, really angry about it, because, like I said, it needs to be celebrated. I had something very similar to what happened to your technician. One of my clients, he was very insecure about coming to me because I handle a lot of Forbes clients and on the list and things of that nature in Fortune 500 companies. He said, "Listen, I'm just probably not as big as what you're used to." I said, "Are you kidding me? I take everybody. Not only that, let's talk about it." And it turns out he had a very lucrative plumbing business. Okay. And, most people, again, here in America, we tend to not really celebrate the blue collar industry. And, I'm here to tell you that plumber, my client, had several trucks, several crews. He was making multi-million-dollars a year. So next time you want to make fun of a plumber or an electrician or, someone in the chimney sweeping business, you need to stop for a second and realize it's very lucrative.
An initiative to go out and do that and start your own business and to take a chance and to have the courage to do so.
Yes.
So it
Mark,
goes back to what we're talking about.
Mark, do me a favor. If somebody wants to be in the chimney business, how can they reach you, my friend? Because it is inspiring to me. I sell small businesses, and watching you form transform your franchise business. That in itself is inspiring. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about that. But before we go to break, if somebody wants to reach you to get in the chimney sweeping business, how would they do that?
Sure, thank you. Our chimney franchise is called Vent Chimney and Franchising. So the website is sir-vent.com, and you can find out information about that service as well.
Yeah, it is something I did a little bit of research on, and you're just starting to come into our area. We're actually in the North Carolina area, so I wish you well in that direction, my friend.
Thank you. We do have one local franchisee, Chris and Carrie Stacy in Charlotte or Statesville and Mooresville. And
wonderful.
so we got one there, but we're looking to expand, and it's a fantastic opportunity for those who are so willing to maybe get your hands a little dirty, but it'll turn into green pretty quick.
Give me the name of the company one more time.
It's Sir Vent, Chimney and Venting, but the website is sir-vent.com.
sir-vent.com.